Welcome to the Style and Grace podcast, maintaining mental health and tackling real life issues, honesty and compassion. Where style meets substance and grace meets real life experiences.
Hey, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of the Style and Grace podcast. I'm your host, Whitney Victoria, and I am so glad that you are here. Listen, today's episode is called Character Over Comfort. So I opened up my TikTok app, and my girl Amanda sent me this video. And first, shout out to Amanda, because the one thing Amanda is going to do is send me a TikTok video that makes sure I stay rooted in my faith. So, y'all, I opened up the video and I'm paraphrasing a little bit. And the video is basically saying, what makes you think you're not going to go through when Jesus went through? And then there was a point where the video said, God is not interested with your comfort. He's more interested in your character. And I said, ooh, that's good. That's real good. And that made me think about a time some years ago where I felt like I was doing everything right. I was living right, minding my business, paying my tithes, trying to walk the straight and narrow. And yet I felt like everything around me was crumbling. Y'all, I literally was sitting there saying, like, Lord, why me? Why is this happening when I'm not bothering anybody? I'm showing up for you, God. I'm showing up for my people. I'm literally going to work, going to home, doing what I'm supposed to do. And listen, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I was so upset with God at that time. I said, Lord, just run me my tithes and offering back, because obviously living for you ain't just what it's all cracked up to be. Because, like, Lord, why is this happening to me? And I'm really doing everything that I am supposed to do. Now, I know sometimes our actions leads to consequences, but this time, I was innocent. I was really doing what I was supposed to do. And it made me feel like, Lord, like you're really forsaking me. Meanwhile, I'm looking at the people that were hurting me. It's like, Lord, they out there living their life, doing what they want to do, being blessed. And I'm over here like getting hit with one thing after another. And I said, God, I feel overlooked. And I'm like, God, I felt like I'm being punished for doing right. But that video reminded me that during that time, God was not concerned with my comfort. He was concerned with my character. And y'all, even in the midst of going through what I was going through at that time, in my mind, y'all, I wanted to go nook if you book. I was ready to pop off, but y'all, I didn't, y'all. It was times where I wanted to send messages and I could never do it. And I remember someone came to me and someone was like, Whitney, like I heard about what happened. And the young lady was like, I didn't believe it because I know your character. And y'all, this video made me realize that in that moment when I was going through, that wasn't punishment. It was a time of refinement. And God was not trying to hurt me, but he was building me during that time. See, that's the thing about walking with God. God never said that this walk would be easy. God said that he would be with us through it. And when we're going through uncomfortable seasons, those stretching moments where everything feels unfair, that's often when God is shaping our character. Comfort doesn't build faith. Challenge does. You don't grow muscles without resistance, and spiritually, you don't grow strength without struggle. Sometimes God allows pressure, loss, and disappointment to prune us, to strip away what's not aligned, and to show us who we really are when the masks come off. Because the truth is, character shows up when no one is watching. It's who you are when things don't go your way. So if Jesus, the Son of God, had to go through betrayal, rejection, and the cross before his resurrection, what makes us think that we won't go through too? Let's talk about Job for a minute. Y'all know the infamous story of Job. Job was a righteous man, a faithful man, a favorite man, and a blessed man, a wealthy man. He had his family and everything. And then, the enemy wanted to test him, to see if he would shake. So God was like, okay, have you tried my son Job? Job lost everything, his children, his riches, his health. But what did Job do? He questioned God. Yes, he did. He grieved. Yes, he did. But he never cursed God. He did not walk away with God. And because of his faithfulness, even in his pain, God restored Job with double of what he lost. That's what happens when you hold on to your character through the storm. You may bend, but you will not break. Your obedience in the dark sets you up for restoration in the light. So if you're in your Job season right now, don't give up. You might not understand the why, but you can trust that God has a purpose for it. He's not ignoring you, God is preparing you. So let's get practical. How do you protect your character when life is testing you? For one, spend some quiet time with God. Even if it's 5 minutes, that counts. Turn down the noise. Talk to God, cry to Him, or just sit with Him. Peace is often how He speaks. Stay connected to your community is the second option. Don't isolate yourself. Get plugged into a church home. If you don't have one, start church online. And if you don't know what to do, just ask God to send you to the right space. Go to therapy. Talk to your friend group. God can sometimes send healing through people. The third thing is protect your environment. Your spirit can't thrive in chaos. Be mindful of what you're watching, listening to, and entertaining. You can't grow spiritually while you're feeding yourself toxic and poison. Four, practice gratitude, even when it doesn't make sense. When you can say, God, I still thank you, even though this hurts. That's character right there. That's maturity and that's faith. And I want to give y'all some scriptures that you can read throughout the week if you're experiencing this Job season right now. James 1, 2 through 4. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials, because the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Romans 5, 3 through 5. We glorify in our sufferings because suffering produces perseverance, character, and hope. 1 Peter 5 and 10. And the God of all grace, after all you have suffered a little while, will restore you and make you strong, firm, and steadfast. Job 42 and 10. After Job had prayed for his friends, the Lord restored his fortunes and gave him twice as much as he had before. Now, I didn't read the full verses out, but I'll make sure I have them in the show notes for you so that you can read them through yourself. Read through them yourself, but write them down, speak them out loud. Let them remind you that your current situation is temporary, but your growth is eternal. And y'all know I love a good journal prop. So here are a few journal props that you can write out this week. The first one, in what areas of my life am I tempted to compromise my character when things get uncomfortable? The second prompt, how can I invite God into the parts of my life that feel heavy or unfair? The third prompt, what lessons might God be trying to teach me through this current season? The fourth prompt, who or what can help me stay grounded and faithful while I'm going through? Give yourself permission to be honest. Growth starts with awareness. And before I go, y'all, I have to share this. If you're already subscribed to my email list, and then you already know what I'm about to say, the tickets for the Grace Gathering are officially live. Y'all, it is happening January 17th, 2026, and this event is going to be everything. Expect a live podcast segment from the Style and Grace podcast, amazing network opportunities, powerful conversations, and just a whole lot of love and connection in this safe, intimate space. This is going to be a time of greatness, a time to reset, connect, and grow together. If you haven't grabbed your ticket yet, go ahead and do that now. You can find the link in my bio, or you can find the link in my show notes as well. Also, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. If this episode spoke to you, share it with a friend who needs this reminder. God is not interested in your comfort. He's more interested in your character. And y'all, again, here is where style meets substance and grace meets real life experiences. Until next time, I love y'all.